What do you think was the more fun stage when you're debating great players? Is it before they win a title or is it after they win a title? Because before they win a title, it's all about what pantheon they belong in. Are they Karl Malone's and Barkley's versus like the true greats of the games? But then after, it kind of almost immediately jumps to, well, are they actually the greatest of all time now that they won one? You know, like if McDavid wins a cup, like people talk about him being the most skilled hockey player of all time. So is it more fun to argue him against Lemieux and Gretzky because he now has kind of a ticket to that level of show that you can welcome it into those debates? Or is it more fun when the guy is still struggling, still hasn't made his way through, still hasn't broken into to get his first ring? Which do you think is the more fun time to discuss a player?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough question. Oh, that's hard. I'll probably say I think it's more fun after the ring. See, both are ring culture, so it's hard to answer this question. But people don't really appreciate the skill set as much. Well, he has no championships. Like that's just like an easy cop out. Like you're not really discussing what he does well and the attributes and the skill set. I feel like after they win, then people can start finally get into that a little bit more. Like okay, his style of play, because people are like with Luka, for example. People are talking about how Luka's style of play will never win a championship because he has the ball in his hands too much, kind of like a James Harden type. But if he wins, then it's like, oh wow, okay, that style of play actually does work. So I definitely got to say after the championship.
See, you're such a Drake fan. This is such a Drake answer. You like the guys that are already minted and already there. Give me the struggle, Mark. Give me the struggle. Give it to me before they win a ring. And I particularly don't like when a guy comes out and wins it too young in his career. Like, then you didn't even get to have the both sides of the debate. Like, you start with like, oh, we're only going to talk about him being one of the best ever for
the
struggle for.
You don't like Patrick Mahomes then?
Oh, look, all right, Mahomes, maybe I'll make an exception for him and his Nugget commercials with Andy Reid. Like I do like Mahomes, but I like it when they last a little longer, right? When they get into year seven, when they get into year 8 and they haven't quite tasted it yet. So if Luka loses this one, he's going to be a perfect candidate for it. It's going to expand that can you win the way that Luka plays. But of course, like Charles Barkley said, you can never win with a jump shooting team, and then Curry goes out and wins a bunch of rings, and so like things change in the way styles of play and how they ended up breaking through. But I enjoy that stage more. I don't like it if they win it in like years 2 or 3. I like it if they win it later in their career after they've really struggled for a while, because I relate to it. It's the same thing we were talking about with Caitlin Clark on Wednesday. And like I even like after a guy wins if he faces new adversity. Like I like Brady a little bit more because he had that knee injury, because he lost the Super Bowl when he could have had an undefeated year. Like if those two things hadn't happened, he'd be completely and utterly insufferable, even more than some people feel he already is.
Omaha!